Lees-Galloway.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Well, it's a pleasure to follow that member on another one of his notoriously short and inconsequential speeches in the House, barely making it to 4 minutes on his own bill. Now, let me say from the outset, Mr Speaker, that Labor will support this bill because it does indeed repeal an obsolete and outdated piece of legislation. But to be absolutely honest with you, Mr Speaker, we do wonder why we are here tonight debating this bill when there are so many other things that we could be dealing with. The member opposite says we had 9 years and we didn't do it. You know why we didn't do it? Because there's absolutely no point. There's no reason whatsoever to be here debating this bill. Even the minister up in the gallery, who's, I don't know whether he's looking down on his on the future the future Minister of Defence, but he's having a bit of a smile about this bill tonight. Mr Speaker, the bill does repeal the Military Manoeuvres Act, under which land could be made available for military manoeuvres. The Act provided that after the manoeuvres, the land would have to be returned to the owner of that land in as closer to the original condition as possible. However, to the best of our knowledge, the Act hasn't been used for at least 30 years. In fact, it may not have been used since World War I. So it is obsolete, and look, it's great that we're getting rid of it, but seriously, is this why Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi came into Parliament? Is this what his supporters sent him to Wellington to do? The first Sikh Member of Parliament came to Wellington to repeal, Mr Speaker, the Military Manoeuvres Act. I don't think so. I don't think that's what his supporters sent him here to do. It's possible that his supporters thought that maybe he would come down here and deal with some crime issues, because I know that his community is deeply concerned about crime, and they probably thought that maybe that was something that Mr Bakshi could be focused on. Or maybe he could be turning his attention to assisting the members of the Indian community who will be so deeply affected by the 90-day No Rights at Work bill. That could have been something that Mr Bakshi could have turned his attention to. But no, he has instead decided that this is his piece of action. This is the bill that he will be remembered for, his signature piece of legislation. So he will be remembered for two things: short speeches and the repeal of the Military Manoeuvres Act. Mr Speaker, you have to wonder what this bill was even doing in the ballot in the first place, when we had such short speeches from the national members on a far more important bill that came out of the ballot, the GST off healthy food bill that Rahui Katane put up. They couldn't even manage to put a decent speech together for that. Why was this bill in the ballot? Padding. No other reason whatsoever than padding, to try and avoid any decent bills coming out that required the government to actually debate some serious subjects. That was the reason for this bill. That is what Mr Bakshi has been told, I have no doubt, to put this bill in the ballot for. I have no idea what his motivation is whatsoever. And you have to reflect, in a week when we have the situation that we have in Canterbury, an earthquake which has caused damage that was totally unpredicted, that's something that we never thought we would see in this country. And who's responded to that? Well, the military are there. The military are there doing a fine job. And just possibly they could have done with this bill. They could have done with the need to actually occupy some private land in order to carry out their manoeuvres. It's unlikely, Mr Speaker, but it is just possible that maybe Mr Bakshi has just been a little bit quick out the gate, and this week that this bill could have been useful to the military. Mr Speaker, I don't intend to waste Parliament's time taking a long call on this. This bill is an absolute waste of time. It is a silly bill that Mr Bakshi should not be proud of, and I hope that it speeds through the House and that we see the back of it as quickly as possible, because this is not a sensible use of Parliament's time.
John Hayes.